Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about that burning question. What should you do when it comes to personal cybersecurity insurance? There should be an echo behind that. Well, that's a good question, and there's many schools of thought as to if you should get cybersecurity insurance or not. Obviously, cybercrime it is an all-time high, and it's not going away, and it's probably going to get worse. So, when it comes to you and your family, there's some things that you need to think about as to how to protect yourself from the many threats out there. And boy, are there some threats. Ton of threats out there affecting everyone as far as cybercrime is concerned. So, do you need to purchase it? Well, it kind of depends on your situation, but let's take a look at some of the threats that people are dealing with and why you would probably need cybersecurity insurance for your family. So, number one, and I guess number two, is ransomware, which is a virus or a situation where criminals get a bug into your computer and all of a sudden you don't have access to your files. On the personal level, that means you don't have access to family photos, maybe their personal documents that you had stored electronically, both locally and maybe in the cloud that you no longer have access to. On the flip side of ransomware is a new threat called cyber extortion, which means that criminals get access to your files and they threaten to release your personal information on the dark web and on maybe your social media accounts. But it all starts with the fact that maybe they get compromising documents and photos, you get an email message, or even a phone call that criminals have access to your data. And they want a ransom, and if they don't get the ransom, then they'll release that information out to the public. The question is can you afford to have that happen to you or your family members? Another threat that obviously families have to deal with is cyberbullying. It can occur with adults and with your kids. So, what do you do about protection for that when it comes to cyberbullying? There are a lot of things that you can do, but the burning question is will cyber insurance help you if you encounter a cyberbully? Same thing with data breaches. If your family suffers a data breach from their devices or from their computers, will cybersecurity insurance cover that? And you have to think, would it be worth your while to purchase cybersecurity insurance if your family suffers a data breach? Now, the biggest one that would be a reason to get cybersecurity insurance would be cyber fraud. And this is probably the more deciding factor that would lean folks as to what can happen if you become a victim of cyber fraud. Now, obviously, if you fall victim to identity theft or any type of fraud, it can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars to retrieve that information back or to gain your identity and to get access to important documents such as social security numbers, driver's license, any things that identity thieves would take over if you became a victim of cyber fraud. Another situation that you have to consider is if you fall victim of cyber fraud where there is a loss of funds from your personal checking account or your personal savings, or even if your credit card is compromised. Those instances, it's hard to retrieve that information and those funds back. So maybe a case of having cybersecurity insurance would be good for you and your family so that you can mitigate your losses by only paying a deductible, which leads me into the next question. Well, how in the heck does this all work when it comes to cybersecurity insurance? Well, it's pretty simple. It's almost like your homeowners or auto insurance. Cybersecurity insurance, you obviously sign up with your favorite insurance company to make sure that your cyber assets are covered. So let's say that you fall victim to a data breach, then you would pay your deductible and you would be compensated up to a certain amount per cyber incident and per year too. So that's something that you should consider when it comes to um, cyber insurance. Now, as far as some of the policies are concerned, you can actually add cybersecurity insurance to your home owner's policy, or you can add it as its own policy that's not attached to your homeowner's insurance. Now, whether that would be an advantage or not, I would imagine, like most insurance policies, if you bundle policies, then you would probably get a group rate. But don't quote me because I'm not an insurance guy, just an IT guy. But also, you would have to look at how much assets that you have that maybe you do need cyber security insurance, because if you're taken victim of, how much are you going to stand to lose? That's not to say that if you have a lower income, you don't need it, but in a lot of instances, sometimes it can cost a lot of money depending on the severity of the cyber breach. Now, the burning question is, and this will probably take up most of the rest of the video, is do I really need cybersecurity insurance? Now, I will say as an IT professional, the question would be, or the answer to the question would be no. But before you make that decision, and after you watch this video, be sure to reach out to your insurance guy. Maybe they have some stuff to counteract what I'm about to tell you, but here goes. So it is true that about 99% of cybercrime really requires human interaction. So that means that as long as you're not clicking on information that comes in the form of phishing emails, scams, or other instances where you are doing things in order for criminals to get access to your information, you probably don't need it. Now remember, there's that one area of cybercrime out there, but most of those attacks are usually geared towards businesses. So as an individual, as long as you're doing your due diligence and educating yourself and making sure that you're not falling for scams, it's going to be a pretty simple process to keep you and your family safe. Now, most of your cyber events occur in the form of phishing schemes. That means if your home computers or home network is going to get breached, it's going to take you clicking on someone or something like clicking on the mouse in order to get your information compromised. Also, keep in mind that a lot of the large-scale data breaches that you see in the world usually occur because someone clicked on a link that they weren't supposed to click on a link. And when, in this era of remote workforce, sometimes criminals trick people into giving up valuable credentials that allow them to get into large company networks. So always keep that in mind. So a good ounce of education to yourself and additionally your kids, because they are really the weakest link when it comes to cybercrime, because criminals are now targeting kids with all of the online games, kids having access to devices and email. It's really simple for your family to get compromised if your kid does something careless as far as your information. So what are some of the other things that you can do to make sure that your family stays safe and maybe avoid having to purchase cybersecurity insurance? Well, one thing that you could do is to make sure that you become a cyber liar. That's right, good old Pinocchio is a good way to be when it comes online. That means that you're avoiding sharing personal information on the web. And that comes in the form of sharing information on social media, making sure when you fill out those social media platforms that you're not putting information out there that could tie you to your personal life. Things as far as not necessarily kids' names, but addresses, places that you're going, and things that you love. It's kind of hard to become a cyber liar, but at the same time, it's a good idea to make sure that you're revealing as little personal information as possible. Now, the next thing to keep yourself safe is to make sure that your information isn't already floating on the dark web, and the best utility to do that is a great website and utility called haveibeenpwned.com. Now, this website allows you to put in your family members' email addresses to find out if those emails and phone numbers have been leaked in a large scale data breaches. Email and phone numbers, especially those to mobile devices, are a gateway that allows cyber criminals to get access to your information. Once you visit Have I Been Pwned, you can put in your email address and your phone number to see if it is on the dark web. If that occurs, there's a couple of things that you can do. First, with your email, that means that you probably need to go in and change passwords for all of your online accounts just to make sure that criminals don't have access to your email password combination that can allow them to get into your secure online accounts. Now, when it comes to your phone number, that's a different story because you can't necessarily get a new phone number. But what you can do is to start using a Google Voice phone number or a WhatsApp phone number that you give out as your online or real life alias. What this does is that it limits criminals from getting access to your mobile devices, which will allow them to get access to your personal life. With a mobile phone number, a criminal could easily call your mobile phone company in addition with your emails and passwords and get access to your phone, which allows them to commit fraud, but then allows them also to get into your accounts to make changes that could put you and your family at risk. So WhatsApp, Google Voice are good options to go with when it comes to giving out your phone number online and to make sure that criminals can get access to your phone numbers. Now keep in mind that criminals can also take advantage of your fake phone numbers, but trust me, it's a lot easier to change a Google Voice phone number or a WhatsApp phone number than it would be to change your cell phone number. So your cell phone number should only be shared with family and friends. Now, what about backups? Backups are important, but people sometimes are doing it the wrong way. So there's a difference between cloud storage and cloud backup. And cloud storage services, like some of the ones listed above, like iCloud, Dropbox, OneDrive, Google Drive, the sole purpose of those items for desktop computers is to allow you to access your data from anywhere in the world. They're not backup services except for maybe OneDrive and iCloud, which do allow backup services to devices. Another backup service that you could use for your smartphones and tablets would be Google Drive. Now, if you're an Android user, Google Drive is the choice that will allow you to automatically back up your Android device to the cloud so that if your phone gets compromised, you can download that to a new device. Same thing with iCloud Drive. If you've got an Apple device, iCloud allows you to back up your entire phone. Of course, both of these come with a fee, but again, better to pay a small monthly amount rather than to lose all your information. So keep that in mind. But for desktop and laptop computers, your best online automatic backup solution would be Carbonite. Carbonite offers you cloud backup services and redundancy. So the sole purpose of Carbonite is to back up your Mac and Windows computers so that if those devices suffer a breach, then you can easily retrieve your data. You don't have to fall victim to ransom, and you can get access to your stuff. Same can be said about antivirus software, but the trick to all of these programs that are listed below, or not below, but listed on the screen, all are worthless except for one that's in the lower right hand corner. That is Windows Defender. Most of your third-party antivirus software that you're using is worthless. Windows and Mac devices have antivirus software built in. With Windows devices, you can use Windows Defender, and with Macintosh devices, the operating system itself is antivirus software, so keep that in mind. Also, make sure that you're updating your devices on a regular basis. When a security update comes through for your Windows, Mac, or smartphone devices, that means a credible threat has been discovered, a flaw, as you may have it, in your device. So that means you need to update your devices on a regular basis, and that way it'll help keep your devices safe and secure. So in the question of, do I need personal cybersecurity insurance for myself? Again, I have the opinion that as long as you are doing your due diligence and not clicking on stupid stuff, you don't necessarily need it. But if you have a lot of assets and you know that you're prone to falling victim to cyber threats, you might want to A, consider cybersecurity insurance, or B, even consider um, getting LifeLock or any of those personal security items to make sure that victims or criminals can't make you the victim. So keep that in mind. So if you have comments or questions about should I get cybersecurity insurance, leave them in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you to find out if there's any questions that I can answer, especially after talking with your insurance guy. And with every video, I always ask if you like this video, love this video, or like the information shared, be sure to do all of the above, which is to ring the bell if you're watching this on YouTube, like, share with your friends. That way you can ring the bell will make sure you get alerted about new videos. Sharing it with your friends means that you care about this tech expert and you want your friends and family to stay safe. So with that said, I love technology. I've read all the manuals and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.